everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Ariana from Where Black Sheep Meet, and today is going to be my Flosstube number 9. So to start off, like every other video, I upload these videos every first Saturday of the month. And if you want to see all my Flosstube videos in one spot, I have a playlist with all of them in there, so you can go ahead and find that in my page tabs or whatever they are here on YouTube. So that way you're not struggling through all my videos to find all the Flosstube if that's all you're here for. I also want to say welcome to all my subscribers. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. I have been trying to be really active more on social media, and I'm not the best at it, but I'm getting there. I'm taking little steps, and I'm definitely connecting a little more and more with all you guys. So I did do a ton of stuff this month. So this might be a long video. I'm just letting you know right now. I might actually have to take a break and go get my kid from school and then come back real quick and finish up this video because I feel like I have a lot to talk about. So I guess we'll just get into it. I'm gonna do my little life update. There's nothing really to update on. If anything, I've probably just had a big string of bad juju for the last 3 months, just like little inconveniences. To give an example, I've had a lot of pet issues. So my corgi, she had stones back in June, and then shortly after she messed up her dew claw. I'm having some issues with one of my snails, and I think he's gonna pass away pretty soon. Mr. Soggy Bottom is not doing very good. Which is unfortunate, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm trying my best to like problem solve, troubleshoot with him. But otherwise, everybody else in the tank is doing real good. So I don't know. He's from the pet store. It is what it is. Otherwise, just little expenses coming up. We've had a flat tire a few months ago. My daughter had all of a sudden needed glasses, so there was that. I've also lost my wedding band, which thankfully wasn't super expensive. I still have my engagement ring, but then I realized my engagement ring is missing a diamond on it, and the last few months have just been piling up. So I don't know. I feel like maybe someone is sending their bad juju my way, or they're aiming at somebody else and I got hit in return. I have no idea. It's been really strange, but I thankfully have a good head on my shoulders, and it's not really putting me off too much. It's just, like I said, they're more like inconveniences or like nails into a cement wall. That's pretty much what it kind of feels like. I've been a super emotional mom since my daughter has started kindergarten, so there's that. And then if anything else, potty training with the other one, there's that. And then I guess that's about it. I don't really have anything else to really say. Everything's gone pretty good. Also, if you guys have noticed, I have a chair. I have a chair now. This is actually my husband's old chair. He ended up falling into a lazy boy, and so I got the old chair. But it reclines, and it's pretty nice. So I think this might be my stitching spot. I also, good news, I know I had lots of bad juju, but I got some good news finally. I went to pull out my silhouette machine, and I found my cord for my lap lamp. I'm so excited. I've been looking for this stupid cord for like 3 months. 3 months. Since I unpacked it, I lost it. And it was with my silhouette machine. But guess what? The cords for my silhouette machine were not with my silhouette machine. So I spent like an hour looking for the cords. Thankfully, they're white, so it was easy to differentiate the white ones from the black, and then therefore I was able to find them very quickly. My husband does IT and is a technology nerd, so to say we have a lot of cables is an understatement. So you can imagine me going through so many cables looking for this, and then having to do it all over again looking for my silhouette cords. But I found it, so I can finally use this, and that'll be perfect in my little chair now. Since my light is right here, it's not bright enough to reach back there. So hopefully more comfortable stitching instead of my computer chair, which starts to hurt after sitting in it for so long. Also, since it reclines, I can now put my feet up, and that will be amazing. And then I'll jump into my little book blurb. I actually haven't I've been reading too many books this month. I think I read maybe like 8. I forgot to count beforehand. But the books that I have read are like super big books. So last month I read A Kiss of Deception, so I finished off the rest of that series, which is The Remnant Chronicles. And the second 2 books were like massive books. The second one was 473 pages, and the third book was 684 pages. And it was a really good series. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite of all time. I think the first book was my favorite out of 3, but I got through those. And then I did A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and that was a 507 page book. Mind you, I'm doing a lot of these on audiobook, and like it'll say 23 hours, 24 hours. But like I didn't realize like how long these books actually are. But with A Curse So Dark and Lonely, that's a bigger series, and I just read the first one. I started reading the second, but I wasn't into it, so I just quit at the first book, and I really enjoyed the first book. Then I finally got into A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I read the first 3 books, and the first one was okay. The second one I really loved. The second one was really good, and come to find out that's the one that everybody loves. And the third one was okay as well. But those ones as well were 419 pages, 626 pages, and 705 pages. So those were big books. Those are thick books. And so in between, I ended up sprinkling in a couple more Ice Planet Barbarians, just because they're so like, not comforting, but they're just little quick reads, and they're kind of uplifting and fun. And so I just sprinkled in a couple more, and so far the second book is my favorite. The third book, I love the male in it, and then I didn't care for the fourth one too much, but there's like 10 of these books, so I'm just trekking along through them. So that's what I've been reading. If you're curious, of course I have my Goodreads linked down below, so you can go ahead and add me in there, and you can see what books that I'm pretty much reading all the time or have read this year. I did notice today that Marissa Meyer, who wrote the Lunar Chronicles, she's about to release a book about like a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, and that's going to come out in November. And I believe that one is called Gilded. And then another book that I've been really anticipating is finally coming out, and that's Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is a spin-off series from Caraval by Stephanie Garber. And that one follows Jax, the Prince of Hearts. And I really liked him a lot. He was my favorite character, I think, in all of it, in the Caraval series. So I'm really excited for that book to come out. And that one comes out September 28th. So I will be reading that one at the end of the month. I believe I ordered it like a special hardcover edition, so I have to wait till it comes in. But hopefully I get it sooner rather than later. Otherwise, I have been getting a bunch of Hades and Persephone retelling recommendations from you guys. So I've been adding them to my TBR, so I'll eventually read them. So far, my favorite series was the Hades Trials, and that one's on Kindle Unlimited. And I really like that one the most so far. I did read A Touch of Darkness that everybody's been hyping up about, but I didn't care for it too much. I finished out the first book and I didn't care to read on into the rest of the books. So that one was okay. So thank you for all the recommendations. And like I said, I'll definitely be putting them on my TBRs. So when I finally get into the mood, then I can definitely pick one of those up for sure. But all right, let's go ahead and get into all of my whips. And I've got a lot. So let's get started. And you know who I'm gonna start with. We're gonna go with Celestine by Margaret Morales. It's a Heaven and Earth design. And this one is my very first cross stitch project. So here's what it looked like last time. And my goal on this one was to get 2,000 stitches. So here's what I am at now. So this page is definitely taking a hot minute, but it's starting to fill in quite a bit. Let me get you up close. So I'm working my way down. So last time I changed up how I was stitching. I'm not doing columns anymore. I'm just filling in the colors in the whole page, but I'm not doing like extreme cross country. I'm just going 2 blocks or like 20 stitches away before I end my thread and start again. So I'm not doing like extreme cross country or anything like that, but I am working all around. So that way it kind of helps a lot more with all that confetti that's going on. Because if I were doing like the columns, just to do one stitch at a time was just, it was a drag. So I'm definitely having a lot more fun now spreading out. And I am kind of going a little outside of my page here. I did kind of do it a little bit just to get those last couple stitches in there. But I'm mostly gonna try and fill up the whole page first before I continue on to the next one. But yeah, so the page is filling up. I did not meet my goal on this one. So moving on to the numbers, this is a 25 count linen and I'm doing 2/1 full cross. I did work on this for 4 days. I did 1,240 stitches, so I didn't meet my 2,000 goal, which I'll explain why right now. And then that puts me at 39,313 stitches, and I'm at 25.53% complete. So the reason I didn't get too much done is this was my last project this month, and my daughter started school. So now I gotta wake up early because she wakes up early because school starts early. And I'm not an early bird, I'm a night person. So like, I'm a night owl. This whole getting up early does not work for me. So at night is usually when I do my cross stitching from like, you know, when the girls go to bed at like 9 to 11, 12, depending whenever I get tired, and then I'll go lay down. But I get a good amount done in like those 3 hours or so. So now that I have to like be in bed by 11, I'm only staying up to stitch till like 10, 10:30 before I have to do stuff to get ready for bed. So I haven't had time. So like I said, that confetti really makes it lag a little bit. But I guess this video will do some backs. You guys want to see some backs today? For all my back lovers and my back haters. So this is the back. Look how cool. I just think the backs are super interesting because they're like their own form of art as well. But you can see like the changes of how I'm stitching here than I was up here. It's not too bad. Yeah, you just see more of the stitches going across than anything else, but it's not as like I said, cross country. So that's my back. But yeah, so that's Celestine. Like I said, we're just trekking along on her. She'll get done one day. I think once I finish this page, I'll have a giant chunk of more confetti with her hair, and then it'll get into her face. And the face is gonna be really fun. But I'm having a much better time working on that little cross-country technique. I'm definitely enjoying it a lot more than I was, that's for sure. So I just had to switch it up. So after Celestine, we have Persephone, and Persephone is another Heaven and Earth design by Alessandra B. Bach. And here's where it was last time I showed you. And my goal on this one was to finish another page, because remember, I like to do pages on this one since it's pretty good. It's pretty easy to get a page on this. And here is where I got now. So another page, and as you can see, we have finally moved on from that boring background. I finally have some of his hair in here, and it's getting into like that smoky light sky that's there. So it's getting interesting now. It was really funny because I was like, most of the page is still the background, and then toward the end, it started getting into this super bright blue, and I was like, oh no, is that right? That doesn't look right to me. That's like a super dramatic color change. I mean, you can see that. But now, like, once I got into the next, yeah, because I had only had one more column after I got into that bright blue. And now that the second one is there, I'm like, oh, okay, it makes more sense now. It's not so dramatic. And his hair isn't full black. It's got like blues and purples in there. So you can see that real good. So it's interesting from back here. It's definitely black. So I'm curious to see if his whole hair is going to be like that, or if it's eventually going to go into like solid black or something. But 5 pages down, 5 pages on the first row. I have 4 more for the row to be complete. So I did do some math because I was curious. I should be done with the row by December. So you guys wouldn't see it until January. So December, I will finish that last page of the first row. And then I was like, well, if I do a page every month like I've been doing, how long is it gonna take me to finish? Big mistake. If I continue to do a page a month, it should be done by April, May of 2025. So it's a big piece, but it's not that bad actually. Yeah, if I think about it, it's really not that bad. Here's the back for this one. So I'm doing this one on 28 count easy grid, and I'm doing 2/1 10 stitch. So you can definitely see the differences in the backs here. You can see where all the color blocking is as well, where I was just stitching one color for a long period of time. Like, look how cool that is compared to Celestine. Now that I have like a bigger surface area compared to the front. Super cool. So to get my numbers in here, I worked on this for 9 days. So this was my second to last project. So it did take a little longer on those last couple days, like I said, because that's when my daughter started school. So I had to have less time at night, essentially. So it did take a couple more days than the 7 days it usually takes me to finish a page. And I did 7,840 stitches. So I'm now at 38,220 and I'm at 10.15%. And like I said, I did reach my goal on this. So that is Persephone. Ooh, then we have a really exciting one. This is Halloween Quaker. And here's where it was last time you saw it. And I had decided to make this my focus piece this month. And it's like my 25/7 piece. So I'm gonna show you how much progress that actually let me get on it, because, well, let me just show you. And here's what it looks like now. Oh my gosh, look how much I got done on it. I got so much done because I was only up to here last time. So I finished Halloween, I finished Happy Halloween, I finished the witch, the little candy corns, the owl, and then those two motifs with the bats, the bird or the crow with the berries, and the flower. So I got so much done on this. It's almost there. So my goal was to finish the first top half, or as much as the top half as I could. So I did mostly that. I just kind of moved this way. Instead of going down here, I went this way and I filled in the center. So it just looks so great. And then I took it out of the Q-snap and I freaked out for a second because I was like, oh, that was totally off, because I only have like an inch on this side, but I have like 3 or 4 or 5 inches over here. And I was like, oh, that was so dumb of me to not calculate that correctly. But I realized that I think I did that on purpose because I really wanted this splotch of purple and this like splotch of yellow to be in it. So I think that's why I moved it over so much, because I just wanted to space it out with the marbling and stuff on it. But like I said, this is Halloween Quaker by Leela Studio. I'm sure most of you know that one because everybody's doing this. And it's on a 40 count linen called Halloween Party by Barbarelle Creations. And I'm doing 1/2 full cross. I did 5,138 stitches, which puts me at 11,773, and it's 65.4% complete. So I did meet my goal. I'm gonna say I met my goal because I did do about the same amount of progress on it. And I'm definitely, I think I'm pretty right on schedule with having this finished by October. Like I said, this was my 25/7 piece, but I actually in reality worked on it for an hour every morning, so it's about an hour work every day, and it gave me about 200 stitches on average. So it was definitely a good amount of progress. You can see it's a really good amount of progress. And then here is the back. Ooh, I didn't even look at the back yet. Like all together, it looks almost like the front. That's pretty neat. That is super cool. I didn't even realize that. In the camera, it looks just like the front, but the back you can see where I like carried my threads and stuff. That's really cool. Super cool. So that is Halloween Quaker. I'm so excited about it. It's almost done. It's almost done. On the bigger motifs, it did take me like at least 3 days to like finish one of the bigger motifs. So it was easier to like keep track of how much I can get done a day, which is why I kind of decided where I was gonna move to with the motifs. Instead of just finishing like a block across, I would just see like, okay, I can probably finish these 2 things today, or if I start this one today, I can finish it tomorrow, kind of thing. So that's how I kind of worked on it. After Halloween Quaker, I have Windrunner, which is Sylvanas from World of Warcraft. And this one is from Thread Geeks, and it's by Kendra Gloombright. Every time I try to say her name, I always mess it up. She has such a tongue-twisty name. Kendra Gloomblade. And here's where it was last time you saw it. And here's where we're at now. So I did finish her face. Her face is completed. And I also finished the page. So last time I forgot where I was at, and I thought I already hit the page, but I didn't. I was halfway through. So I did hit the page. That was my goal for the most part, was I do half a page and then finish the page, half a page, finish the page. So yeah, I did get a lot of her face in there, and then now I'm moving on to some more hair and the rest of the background for one more page, because it's only 3 pages across and 3 columns down. So there's 9 pages in this. So she's coming along real nice. Like I said, I love how like 3D she looks. Her eyes are the coolest thing, with like the drippings of her, like, it's not mascara, I don't think, but yeah, it's just such cool details. So this one is on 28 count, easy grid, and it's 2/110 stitch. It took me 5 days to complete the second half of the page. So I did 3,597 stitches, which puts me at 12,509 stitches. And I'm at 23.40%. And like I said, I did reach my goal on this one, and 2 pages are done. So that is Windrunner, and here is my back for that one. This one has a lot of confetti, so you can tell now like how much I'm moving around. It's not as clear of a picture as like Persephone is per se, because see, you can see the total difference. But yeah, all that white, it was almost confettied. There's a lot of, so in this one eyebrow, there's like, I kid you not, like 15 to 20 different colors. It's like crazy confetti. So you can tell with all my, like, you can see all the flosses being carried and stuff. So definitely a big difference. The only thing now that I'm noticing is that you can see the grid lines through the white. Can you see that? So I'm hoping that'll wash out real good when I'm done, because you can totally see that. Let me do it this way. Yeah, you can totally see the grid lines through the white areas. So I'm just hoping, I'm a little nervous, I'm just hoping that'll wash out when I wash it when it's done. So this one, I also needed well, I didn't need a project bag, but I switched project bags with another project. I forget which one now. We'll get to it. So I did make a new project bag for this one, And this one is Alice in Wonderland. I had just the tiniest bit of this fabric left in my stash. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna use it. And then I happen to have a fat quarter with like this like heart vine red print. And I was like, oh, those are gonna go perfect together. And then I had a ton of this because I didn't have enough to make those strips with this fabric. So I just grabbed this and I was like, oh, that'll blend real well. So I finished a new bag, and then I just have to find a little charm. Next time I go to the craft store, which is probably today. I don't know, I have to edit today. Maybe tomorrow I'll go to the craft store and I'll find a little charm for this one. So I have a new project bag. So that is her home for now. Then I have Moss and Bugs, and this one is by Punochka on Etsy. And here's where it was last time you saw it. And my goal on this one was to finish another row because I only had the first row done, so I wanted to complete the next row. And here is where it's at now. Look how cute! Look how cute, the little beetles. Let me get you up close. They're so cute. These are so fun to stitch up because they stitch so quick for each one. And then when you're done, you're like, oh, it's a little beetle. It's a little moth. These ones are still my favorite though, these little tiny pinky ones. Those are still my favorite. But it's looking really good. The more I'm getting farther down, the more and more I'm getting happier with it. Now, as you can see, this one I messed up my centering. I obviously started a little too far this way, but I have plenty of fabric, so it's not a big deal. But this one is on 18 count Ada by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers, and it's called Lava Chocolate, and it took me 3 days. I did 1,152 stitches, and that puts me at 3,021 stitches, and I'm at 33.27%. And like I said, I did meet my goal. So this one's moving right along, but it just looks so good on camera. Super good on camera. Once I'm done with this one, I wanna like frame it and do like steampunk charms and make it really steampunky since it's a very Victorian look. And then here is my back on this one. It looks pretty good. There's quite a few colors in each bug, so you can see there's a little, it's not necessarily confetti because they're like little chunks of color, but there's quite a few different colors in each one. So you can definitely see like the texture and everything. So that is the back. But yeah, this one I'm really loving. Like, I'm super excited about getting more done on this one to see like how it comes to life even more. So that is Moss and Bugs. This one's really fun to stitch too, actually. Like I said, they just kind of stitch up real quick and then you have like a little bug. Then, moving on, my next one is Space Dragon, who I ended up calling Orion. And here's where it was last time you saw it. And this is where he is now. So I went to town on him. I think my goal was to just finish his tail, and I just kept going. I kept going. And I think the last thing I have left is his wings. The top, like there's 2 wings here, and then I think there's something else. There's another planet or something. So I just have his wings left, but everything on the bottom is pretty much done. And then once I finish the wings, that will be all the full cross, and then I have to do all the back stitching. So I haven't done any back stitching on him yet, but already you can see like the details. So I'm curious how much more it's gonna pop with all that back stitching coming in. So he's just so cute. He's so cute. Oh, I love it. So this one is from Lola Lotta Shop on Etsy, and I'm doing this one on an 18 count Ada by Picture This Plus in Gothic. This is beautiful fabric too. Super pretty fabric. Look at that. Love it. It took me 3 days to work on him, and I did 2,571 stitches, and that puts me at 4,974, and I'm 68.06% complete. And I did meet my goal. I did the tail and everything else. So like I said, last bit is just those wings and that last little bit of planet, and then the little stars. And then I can start doing all the back stitching. So he's turning out really cute. Really, really cute. I think there's one little mess up here in the planet where I don't know what I did. I skipped a whole square and it like messed up everything. So I got to go back and fix that. But otherwise, I'm moving right along. So he's almost done. Almost done. So that is Orion, my little space dragon. Then after that one, I did start the Cryptid sale, but today is Friday. So the first cryptid that came out is the Mothman, and he is adorable. Once I saw it, I was like, yes, this is the style I wanted. It just makes me even more excited to do this stitch along, because I'm like, if that's how the first little cryptid looks, the rest of them are gonna look super cool. I'm waiting for Nessie. Nessie is my favorite. My favorite dinosaur was the one that it's based off, kind of. The one with the little flipper fins and the long neck, and he's like a water monster. There's the dinosaur it's pretty much based off of. So I used to love that dinosaur when I was little. And so Nessie is naturally my favorite cryptid. So I'm waiting for him to pop up. But it just came out. I'm filming today on Friday, so it just came out today. So I had no chance to stitch that one up yet, but I'm planning to work on it tomorrow. And it seems like a little tiny one, so I don't think it'll take long to keep up with the one cryptid a week and then like 1 week off in the month. So I'm really excited. So as you know, I already finished the frame, and then I will show this one again next month with hopefully all 3 cryptids on it that will so far be released. Then I have my super fun one, is my video game sampler, but I like to call it my sweary video games. And this one's by Screaming Heart Designs. And this one you go and you make a donation to the NAACP, and then you message your receipt to Screaming Heart Designs, and then they send you the PDF for your donation. So here's where it was last time you saw it. I did have my new start last video, and it was just a little tiny new start. And my goal on this one was to finish the first little section at the top. So here's where it's at. Look how cute. Oh my gosh. Look at the little swords. Look at the little fire flames. Look at the little gem. Is it gem? It's a gem, right? I should know this. I love Legend of Zelda, but for some reason I'm blanking out right now. But this is so 3D. It's like super, super 3D. And I think this might be my top. No, not my top favorite, because I love them all. But it's like in my higher favorites of all my stitches. It pops. I don't know how to describe it. Like, so I'm ready to see like the next part on this done, because I think it's just going to get better and better with the rest of it going on. So this one is on 18 count Ada. Picture this plus in shadow. And I worked on this for 3 days. I did 1,450 stitches, and that puts me at 1,837. And I'm at 15.01% complete. So I did finish my goal on this, was that first little top section. Super, super cute. Love it. And then here is the back. You can see a little how I carried everything. But yeah, one of the best patterns ever. This is great. This is so great. Perfect gamer pattern, for real. And these colors that are on it, so vibrant. I love the colors. So exciting news. I have a new start, but it's actually a restart. So I finally had an idea for how I wanted to do the new normal, restarting it. Because if you remember before, I still have the chunk. I had it on the shadow Picture This Plus, and it just was not showing up how I wanted it to. So, oh, there we go. It wasn't showing up how I wanted it to. So I decided to restart it, but I didn't know what I wanted at the time. I ended up browsing through Pinterest, and I found this piece of World of Warcraft fan art by Dina Helmi. I think that's how you say it. And she has a lot of her art on DeviantArt, and it's, like I said, a lot of World of Warcraft fan art. And I found this gorgeous picture, and I fell in love with it. But what caught my attention to it was the fact that it used the same like blue and purple and tealy blue color scheme in it. And I liked how it played with all the other colors around it to make it pop. So I was like, maybe that could work. It's an idea. Like, I already have this color and it looks like it pops in that picture. So I had just started playing around with dyeing some fabrics, and I was like, let me try it. Let me go grab this giant 18 count white Aida that I had bought a while ago. And you would have seen it in one of my previous videos. It was like a yard, and it was like $10 or something. So I was like, well, this will come in handy at some point. It did. And I grabbed it. I bought a bunch of different RIT dye colors in the powder and the liquid. And so I went on their site, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do like a peachy background to match this picture. And so I went on the RIT dye site, and I looked up how, like, some of the colors that I liked and how it was made. And so I went for it, and I got the color that I wanted. I'm sorry it's wrinkled. I just took it off the Q-snap, and I just didn't iron it, but that's not the point. But you can see, like, I got the color, and it came out so perfect. There's a tiniest bit of modeling, but you can't really see it too much, and that's fine. That wasn't the goal I was going for. I just wanted the color, so I got the color. And then I was like, okay, perfect. Now let me do my floss toss. And I went to the store, and I pulled the picture up on my phone, and I was like, okay, what colors are closest to the ones in the picture? So I went through, and I found all of those like fall colors, and I was like, okay, this is gonna look great. So I matched them up with this one, and then you add the background, and all the colors look really great on it. So I just went for it, and I restarted. I have a small start. So this is what I have so far, and so far it looks really good. This color looks amazing on this, and these colors look amazing on this, but it's still really small, so I can't get the bigger picture yet. Once I get to the big unicorn motif, I think it'll feel better. But I've almost used all my colors. I'm missing 2 of them, like the yellows, but I already kind of know where I'm gonna put them. So I didn't chart out where I wanted the colors to go. I'm just kind of placing them when I get there to like alternate everything. But I think that'll be all right, because each motif I'm doing is a certain color. So if in the end, like, I'm like, oh, I don't like that color there, I can just unpick that little spot and put a different color. So far I'm using like the true, so like the greens, I was like, oh, well, that works out with the little vine, and the berry I can use the red, and then the elephant, I just was like, well, elephants are gray, but brown is close enough, and the little mouse I wanted close to it too. And so like the unicorn, I'm gonna stitch in the blue and the purple, and then the stars will be the yellow that I picked out. It'll be like this yellow right here. And then I have another little star down here, and that'll be this second yellow right here. So I'm just going along, and I'm just gonna make it my own. So I know this kind of seems a little weird, but it works in the picture. So I'm just gonna go for it. I love it and I know what I'm looking at, so that's okay. That's all that matters, right? As long as I'm happy. As long as I'm happy and I love it, that's all that matters. But it's a little different, and I think it's good to take risks sometimes. So as long as everything shows up now, that's all I'm happy with. Because like I said before, you couldn't see anything. You couldn't see any of the details. And now you can really see where everything is. You can really see that. So I'm excited. So this one is my car project. I haven't gotten too far on it. When I go to pick up my daughter, I have to sit there for like 40 minutes because it's that busy and I need a parking spot. So I have to get there early, and I'm usually there about 40 minutes. So I get a good 30 minutes to stitch on it. So I don't usually get too far. So essentially this is pretty close to a 25/7 piece. So I have a second one, I guess. So I did work on this for 8 days, 8 car days. And I did 1,021 stitches, and so I'm at 2.73%. And yeah, this is New Normal, Long Dog Samplers. I didn't even say that, did I? This is a New Normal by Long Dog Samplers, and it's on an 18 count Ada hand dyed by myself. There's the back, my little back. Just a little progress there. But I love the dye job, right? This color is stunning. I was so shocked. This is the first time I dyed something and it actually worked out. Because you'll see my other pieces I dyed and they didn't work out. Actually, no. I had two. Two that came out. One came out pretty good. This one came out the best. So that is New Normal. So moving on, I am about to start a new project. I have a friend who saw my Flosstube videos and he asked me if I would make him one because he wanted one in his office. And I said, hell yeah, I'll do it. And he's like, how much do you want? And I was like, no. I love doing this. Just pay for the supplies and we're all good. Because he picked a big one and supplies are expensive. So I finally went and got all the things that I need. So the project that he picked out is Disney Halloween, and it's from Cross Stitch V on Etsy. So I was even also happy to do it because for one, it's Disney, and for two, it's still nerdy, so it goes with my thing, and I'm glad it's something that I'll be happy stitching on. So I ended up picking up a 25 count easy grid, and I'm gonna do 2/110 stitch because I want to see the difference with the coverage on 25 count compared to the 28 count. Because right now 28 count 2/110 stitch is that's my comfortable spot. So I would just want to see and compare to the 25 count and just see if I have confetti spots, because as you saw on Windrunner, it does get a little chunky if there's a lot of confetti and it's a little hard to stitch in some spots. So I wanted to see if this would help. The only thing I'm concerned with is that when I do the black on the 25 count, if you can see the fabric through it. And I just saw Flosstube and had a recommendation to try the anchor floss. So I'm gonna go pick up a little spool of the black anchor and see if there's a difference using that compared with DMC black. So I'm gonna play around with the black because this has a giant black border and it's got a lot of 939 in it as well, this really dark blue. So I might have to triple it up a little bit and do 3 strands if it really doesn't have the coverage I like, but I'm definitely excited to try it on the 25 count. So as of yesterday, I started streaming on Twitch. And right now I'm just working on actually kitting up this floss. And I'm gonna go again tonight to finish up the other half. So this is the first half that I haven't done yet. Look at those colors. Lots of vibrant, fun colors. Because it's got like Mickey and Goofy and Donald and Minnie. So of course they're gonna be fun. And then this is the other half that I've already hanged up so far. I meant to put this on a ring, but I haven't done it yet. So they're all kind of jumbled together a little bit. But you can see, oh, even more vibrant colors in there. Super pretty, super fun. So that is all the floss. There's like 90 colors in it. So it's basically another Hade. It's a good size. I think it's gonna be the same size as Celestine on this 25 count. I did end up making little floss drops with my silhouette machine because I ran out of floss drops and thread organizers and Annie's keepers with all my other projects. So I was like, well, I might as well just make some. I have a silhouette machine, so I might as well pull it out and use it for once. And so I did it real quick. I just put a little pumpkin since it's the Halloween theme. And as you can see on this one, I have the main loop. I have my number here. This will be the ring loop. And then this little loop will be for threads that I'm using. So I'm excited to have that there. So now I can like see better where my little extra threads are. Instead, because sometimes I get a new one and I don't notice there's another one like that I use tucked underneath here. So I'm excited to have this little hole now. I'm gonna go to the store and see if they have some sort of plastic or something that I can also use with my silhouette to cut out the same shape. And then I'll glue them together just to give it a little more durability, because this is just cardstock. This was just from a cardstock book for scrapbooking. So I think it might need a little more durability. So I will go and see what they have available at the store when I go. But I think it's fun, and it was really, really easy to make these little floss drops. So I have 90 colors, so I still have halfway to go. And then for this one, it obviously needs a bag. So I went and made myself a new bag for this one. And for this one, I decided to use my Nightmare Before Christmas fabric. And I have two of these, but this one is the Christmas version. So he's in the Santa Claus outfit. And then I just used a basic maroon. And then for the charm, I had these Christmas light bulb buttons for like years. And I was like, oh, this is perfect because it reminds me of the part when he's singing What's This? And he puts the light bulbs over his eyes. So I was like, I have to do it. I have to put this on there. So I finally got some use out of those. So I have a new bag. And that's what this project will live in, which is perfect because it's Disney and it's Halloween. So I will be starting this probably this week. So you'll see some progress on it next update. So speaking of new projects, I'm starting to kit up for my future sales. So I have Pile of Yoshis for Dinosaur December in December. And then I have Medusa for the unconventional Medusa sal that I'm doing with Hannah Dowling and a bunch of other YouTubers. And that is starting the 1st of 2022 in January. So I'm starting to get things together for it. I have been playing with a lot of the Rit dyes and dyeing some fabric to just play around with and have some fun with because it gets a little expensive. To get the really fun colored fabric and everything. So I just figure, let me try and make my own and I can kind of try and get exactly what I want or see in my head. So this is the first piece that I tried to dye for the new normal the first time and it didn't work out. So obviously it's way more orange. There we go. It's way more orange. And originally it was super, super vibrant, but I ended up putting OxyClean and it chilled it out a little bit. It's still really pretty. This is an 18 count Ada. So this is so I went and bought another yard of 18 count. But like I said, they're really inexpensive at Hobby Lobby, so I went for it. But it's still really pretty. It's a pretty orange, so I don't know what I'll use it for, but now I have it and it's in my stash. So with this one, I ended up doing like a red and yellow, and it made orange instead of the peach. And with the other one, I ended up doing yellow and pink, and that one worked out so much better. Obviously, I got the color that I was trying to get. So this was definitely a learning experience, but like I said, it still came out really pretty, so I'll use it for something eventually. Then the other piece I dyed for was a Pile of Yoshis, And I was thinking of like a light blue because I just see Super Mario, and Super Mario is light blue with the white clouds. Although there is a light blue Yoshi, and I'm looking at some of the threads that I have for it, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know if that's gonna blend in. I forget where he's located at this current moment. I didn't even check. I should have checked. I totally forgot. But I'm using this for now. If I have to like do something to make him pop out, we'll see. I just have to see where he's looking. I mean, you guys can see because I have it popped on the screen over here, but I gotta look at myself and see what it looks like. But this is the piece that I dyed. So this one came out perfectly. I wanted this, I think it's called like bird's egg or robin's egg blue or something. So I just followed the ingredients on their mix list, and this is exactly what I got. So this one's really pretty. It's a very pretty blue. That's exactly what it looks like actually. That's the exact color. So this is what I'm planning to use for a pile of Yoshis, but like I said, I gotta see where that blue Yoshi is and we'll see. So this is also the other half of that 18 count Aida. So I cut off the size that I needed for the new normal, and then whatever was left is the perfect amount for a pile of Yoshis. And then I went through my extra floss, and I happen to have quite a few colors that I needed already that I had hanging out. So there's a few colors, but you can see like these blues, they're very close. So I don't know, we're gonna see. We'll find out, I guess. I still have a lot more colors to pick up, so this will probably be this month, what I pick up this month for all the floss on this one. And then for the Medusa Sal, I was playing around with the idea of doing maybe like a green and gold or green and yellow sort of fabric, or I would go with exactly what was similar to the background, because I bought the version without the background just to save me stitching time, and I'll just buy a fabric to put the moon and her on it. So that's why I was playing with the idea, do I want to do the exact same or something close to the background, or do I want to go with the fun color and have her pop out? So I was thinking originally, well, purple would look really pretty because she's a lot of grays and muted gray tones. But then I was like, but Medusa's more green and gold. So I was like, ooh, that could be fun to play around with. So I tried the green and gold, and I tried to ice dye. Ice dyeing is really fun to watch and try. And this is the piece that I got with that. Look how freaking cool that is. It looks even better on the camera. It's maybe a little more darker and more vibrant on the camera, but that's basically it. There's the back. Super cool, very pretty. But I felt like this was too much. All the details and stuff, I felt like it was a little too much that she was gonna be on. And so I decided not to go with this. So I'm gonna save this for another project. This will be something really fun. I don't know what. Something with a solid floss though, like maybe all black. We'll see. We'll see what I come up with for this one. This one is actually a 28 count Monaco that I got from Michael's for $6. I think it was $5.99. And I think it's like 20 by 14, I think. 20 by 14 piece. So it's a good size. It's a good size. So there's this one I'll have in my stash for another day. And then I had another success. I really looked at the background of Medusa, and I saw that it was like this like tan, sandy, marbled kind of look with like bits of blue. So I went for it with the same browns that I used for my Cryptid Sal, even though that didn't come out on the fabric that I wanted. I think it was just the type of fabric I dyed on. It had a different effect to this one, because this is also another 28 count Monaco. And this one came out perfect. So this is what I ended up getting. Look how freaking perfect that is. It's so perfect for what I wanted. And I was playing around with it because I just didn't know what color I wanted to get, because there's just so many different neutral brown, tan fabrics that I just couldn't decide. Hannah Dowling was trying so hard to help me, and I was like, ooh, I found a couple that I like, but I just couldn't commit because I didn't know what would look better. So that's why I dyed these two anyways, just to buy the floss and do a floss toss and see what the floss would look like on each. And like I said, this one was just too busy in general, so I already knew it wasn't gonna work. But this one just came out perfectly. I think I was gonna use this side since it's less, I think it was this side. And I'm gonna use this on the side that the opening is on. So she's gonna sit over here, basically. And that way the blue will show through. So it was either this side, or maybe it was this side. I have to look at the picture again. You guys can see it, but like I said, this is another instance where I'm using my brain right now because I'm recording on my phone, so I can't look it up. But it might be this side actually, now that I think about it, because it's less busy. Since the moon is gonna be right here, and then she's like right here with the snakes. So yeah, this came out perfect. So here is all the floss. I bought all the floss for it. And damn, that was a lot of floss. I actually didn't even buy all the floss that was listed. The way it sent it, it was like a ton of floss of the same colors. And I was like, I don't know. I know it was recommended for the 25 count, but this is a 28 count. So it's gonna use a little less. And I'm doing 10 stitch, so I'm using even less. So I just bought half of what was required of the floss, essentially. But it was a lot. I think like there were so many colors that had like 10 and 12 and 14, and it was just, I was like, I don't think I need that much. I think that's a lot. So I just bought half. Hopefully I don't come into the issue where I really did need all those colors and then have a dye lot problem. Yeah, so I just bought half. Hopefully we're good. But these are the colors. So you can see they're very muted greens and grays, blues. There's one pop of yellow in there. And there's a pink. There's a little bit of pink. And there's the one really dark green. I think that's 500. 500's in here somewhere. But yeah, you can see like it's a very muted color palette of greens, which is a little bit of a change because I have so many that have blues and like purples. So this is like more greens and grays. So that'll be a nice little color change on a project. So I don't know how I can do this holding all these up with the fabric. There we go. Nope. Okay. Yeah, you can kind of see. It'll pop out real nice. So that's the fabric. That's what I'm going with. So I decided that is what I'm gonna go with. So I think I just got really lucky and the fabric just really worked out again for once. So I don't know, fabric dyeing is kind of fun. Fabric dyeing is kind of fun, not gonna lie. So that is for the Medusa cells starting in January 2022. And like I said, I'm doing that one with Hannah Dowling, and it's gonna be called the Unconventional Medusa Cell, since this is an unconventional X-stitch pattern called Medusa. I forget, I should wrote down who the artist was. I totally forgot. I'll have it linked down below, and then I'll make sure to relay that information next time I talk about this project. But this project is basically ready to go, minus the whole kitting up part that I'll do later on. But fabric and floss is good. So all I have left is to buy all the floss for the pile of Yoshis. Otherwise, as far as cross stitch goes, the only other pattern that I'm starting to think about getting is the new Witchy Stitcher Spooky Halloween sampler. It's really cute. And it's a little tiny dinky thing. So I think once I get some finishes done, I'll throw that in there and get that stitched up real fast too. I really like that one as well. So with all of that, I guess that is part of my haul of things that I've been buying and doing. I also ended up buying the, where are we? Snag Nabbit. See the little twisties on the end? So you essentially put your needle through the fabric where the thread is coming out of the hole. So you put the pin side in and then you pull it through your fabric, and essentially this ridging will catch onto the thread and pull it through the hole with it. So you'll have that nice stitch again. The thread won't be coming out. So this is actually pretty handy. I've used it quite a bit now. I was thinking of it as something else, as more like a tail catcher. I don't know why I was thinking that, but when I got it, I was like, oh, that's not what this is for. But I was like, let me try it and see how it is. And this is amazing. And yeah, I got it for Joann's for like $5 and I used a coupon, so it was like half off. Yeah, and the name is really cool. It's a snag nabbit. So definitely worth picking up one of these if you do a lot of stitching. Also, since all of the Halloween stuff is finally coming out, I did finally pick up at least one little set here of Halloween charms. So these are the ones I got. There's a couple different kinds. I just didn't go crazy yet because I feel like there wasn't it was like a small sale. I think these were 25% off, and you can see they were $10. So I'm gonna wait a little longer, and hopefully these will drop even more, and then I'll buy even more. So I did get finally my Halloween charms. I don't need them yet though, so I'll make some more bags eventually, and I will use these. Oh, the little ghost was turning around. The little ghost. But these are really cute. They have some really cute ones too that I didn't pick up yet. Which, speaking of the Halloween charms, I finally put the charm on my Halloween bag that I made for the Cryptid sale. And this was the beads that I used. So they had the little skull, and then I just put some more little beads on there that matched the bag. So I did finally finish this bag. And then it had the little skeletons inside, so it matches perfectly with all the skeletons. Otherwise, I did make a few bigger project bags to finally kind of start in Etsy. I'm just not ready yet. I'm just kind of making them as I go. But I do have this one, and this one has, what is it? Hugs and hot cocoa with little marshmallows. There's the front, and then this is the little charm I made for it. So I have two of these that I made so far. There's two, and these are my extra large bags. So they're the same size as the one my Persephone is in. So you can see, like, it'll hold all my floss. It'll hold my 8x11 Q-snap, my project. Yeah, I can shove everything in here. Same thing like Celestine. You can see like everything fits. I got like my whole pattern back there. So it's a good size. These are really big bags. I don't want to make like the normal size bags because I feel like so many people make those already. But I noticed that the really big ones, like, you don't see them too often. So I'm gonna start making a couple, and eventually I'll put up an Etsy store. So I have these two already. And then I also have one of the Nightmare Before Christmas that I'm gonna make the same. I just have it all cut out. I just haven't assembled it yet. But this is a smaller one than this one, obviously, just because I wanted a smaller bag for this project. But the other one that I'm making is gonna be the bigger size. So I have that started. Like I said, I'm just gonna start making a few, and then once I have a good amount, I'll throw them all up in an Etsy shop. I was also playing around with some needle minders to also put in there, and these are gonna be a little different. I ended up discovering more of Decodin phone cases, and Decodin means deco for decoration, and then den is short for denois, which means phone, so decorated phone. And they're these big chunky, like, cute frostings, small charm phone cases. And when I was in Japan, we had seen some Lolitas, and they had their full cords on, and then they were holding phones that had this stuff on it, and it matched their cords. It was really neat to see. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh, that would be so cute to make as a little needle minder. So as part of my haul, I bought a ton of stuff to make this craft. So I'm just playing around with it because I have to experiment, and I'll explain in a second here. But these are what they look like, essentially. So I made this one. So you can see it's got like the frosting, and then you put the little charms and the gems. I've made this one. this one, so these are just like I said, I'm just playing around with these right now because they're not exactly doing what I want them to do. And then I have these two, but they're so cute already. I have to perfect them. So the thing is that, for example, these two, the one with the like sort of jelly look and then the one with the more creamier look, these are actually made with silicone caulking. So I've used the clear for this one and then the white for this one. So you can see the different effects on them of what they do. But the thing is that they have such a strong chemical smell that it's not good to work with indoors and to do a lot of. And it's really messy to like clean up. If it dries like in the little piping tip, it's a pain in the butt. So I decided to go with the other alternative, which is the whipped clay. And that way I don't have the strong smell. The thing is that buying like the pack of these at Michael's is very expensive for just these colors. And I wish they had white. I would just buy a ton of white and then make my own colors. So I was experimenting with buying like a soft clay, and that kind of worked. That's how I got this one, for example, but you can see that they kind of melted down instead of having the like full shape. So I ended up trying to add cornstarch, and that really worked. See how I gave it the shape there? So I've just been playing around with it, and hopefully I'll get a good recipe soon, but I definitely want to make these into needle minders. So I did put a magnet on the back of this one, so you can see it's a needle minder. But the thing is that it's so thick, it doesn't hold the needle. Oh, okay, I lied, maybe it does. When I tried it last time, it wasn't working. Yeah, see what I mean? So maybe I'll put the magnet underneath this and decorate over it, but I don't know if that's gonna go through. And then I was thinking, well, maybe then I'll just skip out on the little wood piece that I'm decorating onto and just decorate directly onto like wax paper. And once it hardens, this seems to harden really good. See, it's thick. That cornstarch really worked. So maybe I'll do something like that, and then that way it's thinner. That way the needle can reach the magnet a little easier. So I'm still playing with it, but hopefully I can get them done soon, and then I'll throw those up in my Etsy shop as well, because I'm trying to make a few bucks so we can go to Disneyland. I owe my daughter a trip to Disneyland since we totally missed out on pre-end of the world. So yeah, I'm trying to just make a little bit more so that way we can finally get our time and go on our vacations that we've been wanting to do. I'm not saying it's gonna happen anytime soon, but by then hopefully a good time should pass and maybe things will be good to go by then. So that's what I've been working on and playing with. I did also organize my extra floss into floss away bags. So I have this hanging in my closet. I just labeled with the numbers, and there's all my extra colors that I'm not using. So I was working on this. I finally put all my extra drills for my diamond paintings into my little shoebox that I've had, and I've organized that. So I did that. The last thing that I've been working on, I actually started crocheting a shrug because I love shrugs. I have two that I wear religiously, and so watching all this Flosstube and seeing some of these like knitters and crocheters, I'm getting the itch. So I figured I'd just pick it up for a little bit. The pattern I finally found, it's exactly like the shrugs I already have, and it seemed kind of easy. So I ended up going and getting some yarn, and I started the main body of it. So this is what I have so far. So I'm just a neutral girl. Like, I like my blacks and my grays, my whites, and the only colors I get are like maroon and like army greens. Once in a while I'll have something mustard yellow, but this is as colorful as I get, really. So I saw this yarn color and they came in these giant, oh, I left a tag downstairs. I think it's a pound or 2 pounds or something. So I got 2 of these to complete the project. But this is only a small start. I gotta get like a whole like thing going here. So before I can work on the sleeves and the collar part. So I just work on this before bed if I'm in the mood to do a little bit more before I fall asleep. So I'll put in like 2 or 3 rows and call it a night. It's really easy. It's only a couple, like 3 different stitches I'm doing right now. I used to crochet, not a lot, but I know the basics. And so it took a minute to like figure out what I was doing. But once I got it, I was like, oh, okay, we're good. So it'll be nice to have a new shrug to wear. But the shrug is called Ragged Falls Cocoon Shrug by Sincerely Pam, and it's on Ravelry. So I'll have that link down below if you're interested. Yeah, I think it should be really cute when it's finally done. It'll be a while though. I don't have any new Flosstubers that I've been watching, just my same old regulars. If you want to see who I'm subscribed to, you can go to my subscriptions. I opened it so it's public, so you can go and see who exactly I'm subscribed to. I was just about to leave and I realized I didn't do plans yet. So plans. Celestine. I'm still gonna keep my goal at 2,000 stitches. That was good the first time when I did the 2 columns or whatever it was, and I didn't reach it this time. So I'm again gonna do 2,000 stitches. Hopefully we'll get closer to completing that box there. So 2,000 stitches for Celestine. For Persephone, of course, you know, we're gonna do another page, and I think it's horns that are coming up. So more hair, some horns, more white. There's gonna be a more white background. So we're gonna go with 1 more page on Persephone. Halloween Quaker. The goal is to finish this. I still have back stitching as well. I forgot to mention that. I still haven't done any of the back stitching. So like this little spider deal is supposed to have lots of back stitching for the web and then the little feet's in there. I think this witch has eyebrows. I'm not sure if there's any more. I think there's another one somewhere, but should I say finish it? I'm gonna try my best to finish it. This is gonna remain my focus piece, and I'm still gonna continue to do my 25/7, which is essentially an hour every morning. And hopefully I can get at least up to 90%. You know what, I'm gonna say that. Let's get up to 90% done. That way, if there's just a couple more, I can finish those up real quick with the back stitching. But 90%, sounds good. Then we have Windrunner, and Windrunner, I'm going to do another half a page. I'd love to say a whole page, but she's got so much confetti, I'm not gonna get that crazy. So we're gonna do half a page on Windrunner. So we're almost done with that row. So by the end of October, I'll have the full first row done, but half a page for now. For Moss and Bugs, same thing. I'm gonna do another row of motifs and get another row completed. So we'll have 3 rows done by, well, the plan is to have 3 rows done by October. For Space Dragon, I wanna finish all of the X's, all my cross stitching. I would love to aim for the back stitching too, but I don't know how intense back stitching is to do that much. I only did a little tiny bit of back stitching on my Beetlejuice piece. So I'm gonna say at least to finish all the crosses. If I finish it completely, then okay. But the main goal is just to finish all of the cross stitching. For the Cryptid Sal, I'm going to make sure I'm caught up on the Cryptid Sal, so the 3 cryptids that come out hopefully will be done. So I plan to stay caught up with this one. For Video Game Sampler, aka Sweary Video Games, another row section. I totally don't remember what this looks like at the moment, so I don't know where to stop, but I'll definitely do another like sizable section down here, wherever that is. I don't always die in video games, but when I do, maybe I'll go up to when I do. I don't remember where that stops though. But yeah, definitely another portionable size section. For the new normal, I'm not gonna put a goal on it just because I just kind of work on it for 25 minutes a day. So I'm just gonna continue to do my 25/7, but not every day, just during the weeks when I obviously sit in the car waiting for my daughter to get out of school. So this won't be every day, but every school weekday I will work on this for the 25-30 minutes that I'm sitting there. If I really had to make a goal, I would just say to finish the rest of this elephant and vine motif here, and maybe start on the circle and go down a little lower here up until the next bubble. I think that's as far as I'll get for sure. And then I will also be starting my Mickey Halloween project that I'm kitting up right now, and I will start it. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have to work on it and how long it will take me. So I think I'll say half a page. We'll start with half a page. If I get more, then I'll do more. But I think half a page is a good small goal for now. So when I start, half a page. So that is all my plans. And like I said, otherwise, I'm gonna start streaming on Twitch and I'm gonna do all my crafty stuff on there. I don't have a schedule yet. I plan to figure that out soon, especially doing like a stitch with me. I got a lot of requests for a stitch with me. I just gotta play with camera angles and cameras in my face at the same time. So I gotta play around with it a little bit, but it's definitely something I'm looking into. But I think I'm gonna call it a month, and I will have my next video on October 2nd. So look forward to seeing more updates then. Hopefully we'll have some finishes too, hopefully. I don't know, I wanna frame them together with you. I just don't know if I wanna do them as a Flosstube extra video, or would you like to see me framing, like say if I just have one, frame it in my normal Flosstube video and just have one giant long video all at once? What you guys think about me just popping in a random video saying, I finished it, let's frame it? Or would you like to see my Flosstube? I finished it, and then like a week or two later, let's frame it together. I'll let you guide me on that decision. That's about it though. So I guess I will call it quits here. So thank you so much for watching. Go ahead, you can add my social medias. I'm trying to be better about giving updates and stuff on there. And then I'll have my Twitch link down below in case you're interested in following me on there. I will see you all in the next one, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Bye.